The time machine is either being invented already or is about to be invented, which means that in the near future they're already traveling to our recent past to change things. So, can we stop the time war before it starts? Why? Why would they be doing this? If they mess around with our memory, and if we don't remember our past or our lives, we don't know who we are. So they can sell us anything, make us believe anything they say. Like once we believed in Santa Claus. Or would they be looking to eliminate their enemies in the past to dominate the present? Hey, maybe it's just nostalgia. They want to go see the Beatles or Elvis Presley they missed out on. Or maybe they're looking for the cure to cancer. The good guys, yeah. Yeah, so there's level of proof that we had, which is memory and residual. So there's the present showing in the past, which is a new level, and the present morphing in the past, which is a very incredible level of proof. We already know about this, the Mandela effect, the logos and phrases, famous lines. They would be changing, challenging our memory, really, because logos are designed to be memorable. And then there's other degree, which is not only our memory, but also some documentary residual evidence, like the car, which was used for the reenactment a few days after the Kennedy assassination by the CIA, which was different than the car which appears in the history books now. But we all remember this car, right? Kennedy was killed in a car like this, not like this. Or the thinker, a girl posing like this in front of the thinker, imitating the thinker that's doing this. So that's residual evidence. But now, this guy Roscoe Pico on YouTube was able to use Google Trends, which show us how many people have been searching a certain term throughout time. And this is a screenshot from his presentation or from his YouTube video. He found that in June 2005, a lot of people were typing in the question, when did Nelson Mandela die? Okay, he was supposedly alive at the time, but there could be a certain degree of confusion, but that spike is really all about South Africa. All of those searches occurred in South Africa or the vicinity of South Africa, not in the United States where the Mandela effect picked up. And he's right when he says that he would assume that people in South Africa knew that their great liberator and Mandela was alive, living just around the block probably. So why would people in South Africa be checking out if Nelson Mandela had died and when? They would know, right? But then you also have in Spanish, it's not only in English. I found a lot of people as far back as 2008 searching when did Nelson Mandela die. So there's a lot of people that have this confusion, quote-unquote confusion. And then he's looking for the worldwide searches on Mandela effect. They started in February 2004. So what are the people looking for? Mandela effect, the term was coined in 2009 or so. So these people are searching for Mandela effect way back then in 2004. That could be a coincidence, right? Sure. Again, not only English-speaking people, effecto Mandela. What is the effecto Mandela? Is it the effect of having Nelson Mandela be president and that causes an effect? Maybe Barack Obama was chosen in the United States because he was the first black president in the world. That's the Mandela effect that they're looking for when they type in that search. Is that it? Unlikely. But then, I type in again Google search to do my own search on Mandela effect, and it turns out that new searches appear in April 2005. Searches that were not there in January this year when this man Pico searched, Roscoe Pico. So those searches were not there in April 2005 when he searched. See, he found searches in July 2005, in June 2005. So new searches appear. And this is the spike that he found for searches on Mandela effect from South Africa. So a lot of people in South Africa searching Mandela effect that he found. But then none of them in United States, all of them in South Africa. So I type in Mandela effect in United States, and there you go, April 2005 in United States. Something that when he searched, nobody in 2005 had searched Mandela effect. And now it appears that people have searched in the past. Again, October 18, more searches in South Africa. You see the map of South Africa. There's a lot more searches than when Mr. Pico checked out, Mr. Roscoe. October 2004, a bunch of searches that were not there at the beginning of this year. So, at the beginning of this year, no one in 2004 had typed all this stuff. But now, yes. So it's changed. The past has changed. October 23, no searches from South Africa in 2004. So those searches that Mr. Roscoe found are no longer there, and there are other searches and other dates, also in the past. So, World Time Travel Federation, huh? There's this news that appeared in the radio station website in Wyoming of this guy called Bryant Johnson, who claimed to be a time traveler. He claimed he was from the year 2048 and he came to alert us of an alien invasion, but he ended up in the wrong year and was supposed to be in 2018 when he arrived. So in the end they took him. He was drunk, and that was the big deal, the big news. So what's the big news? Why would Russia today report on a drunk guy in Wyoming that is just being drunk, saying that he's from the future, or saying that he's Elvis Presley or whatever? Huh? Why would Russia today do that? So is this the guy? I'm looking here on the beingverified.com. There's some data on a certain Brian Johnson that lives in Casper, Wyoming, 26 years old. Is that him? Maybe. Maybe it's him. So let's just say he's always lived there. He's not a time traveler. He was just thinking drunk. But still, he got over 10 pages of mainstream and alternative media reporting and Google search yields. Reporting of a drunk guy in Casper. You got Fox News and all sorts of pages, sites reporting on this guy. So how could he be such a big event suddenly? And he's getting a bit of attention. You can see a spike of searches on his name, Bryant Johnson, Wyoming. Just about now it's spiking because this was just a few weeks ago. But why did we have searches for Bryant Johnson back then? Well, maybe there's another guy called Bryant Johnson from Wyoming that some people have searched in a few years, 2015 or so. If I were going to the past and end up in a timeline that I'm not sure where I am, you just go ask a Google search for time travelers. It's a suite that helps you find out what timeline you're in and what's going on, right? So you get to this weird year where you're not sure what happens. You're in 2004, you come from the future, and you want to know if the timeline is still as it was supposed to be when you left from the future. So you ask Google, proof that time travel is real. So along the time, there's been searches of people looking for this. What would I ask? I don't know. I would ask, who's the president of USA? Has that changed? You can find certain seasonality in the spikes. In November, every 4 years, there's a little spike of people asking, who's the president of the United States? That's when the elections are. But April 2005, once again, who's the president of the United States? Why would, again, and there's another spike in January 2017. Well, maybe that's when Trump took power, but other off-season spikes. January, April, May 2009, September 2012, January 2015, February 2016. Potential time travel dates. So what's with 2048? If I put time travel, 2046, no one has searched that term ever, or not enough hits to even report on them. Time travel 2047, not enough hits. Time travel 2049, not enough hits. Time travel 2050, like rounding off, no hits. Time travel 2036, that's the year when John Titor is supposed to claim to come from. John Titor did get a lot of following on internet, people searching his name. John Titor, searches for his name. Up there it says John Titor. But still, nobody searches for time travel 2036, which is a year that he said he came from. But time travel 2048, why? June 2010, there's people looking for time travel 2048. And 2012, it's also happening. So, what happens? Whoop, 4 days later, there's a new spike. June 2007, seeking time travel 2048. It says 100. That doesn't mean it's 100 people. It's probably more than 100 because it's a scale that they use to regulate and not give you the exact number. But when you see these harsh spikes, it's because it's not too many numbers, not too many people. And when it's a very high critical mass, the spikes are smoother. Again, June 2010 disappears. Look, just a few days later or a few hours later. Next morning, June 2010 disappears. Someone erased it or changed the timeline in 2007. Again, 5 days before, there was no spikes in 2007. It started in 2012. So, later the same day, 2005 appears, 2007 and October 2017 drop, and June 2010 reappears. So, what's going on? Someone at Google's having just a good laugh at us? No, not at us, at me. Google's laughing at me. Someone's really decided to change results of past searches to mess with someone. Wouldn't they choose a more likely search term? And not something so obscure that no one would really check on? So, hey, that's me twice. It's happening now in the past. Again, look at it. This evening, 2048. This is a couple days ago. There you got June 2010. Oops, it moves. Same day, 2 hours later. And then, a bit later, next day, like 12 hours later. So, what happens? In the year 2048, agents were sent to the past. Is Johnson going to cash his paycheck in 21 more years in 2048? I'd say there's at least 2 conflicting forces, more likely 3 at least, that are messing with time and participating in this time war. So we got new spikes for who's the President of the United States, February, September, and October 2004. And this is just to show how Mandela effect is the yellow line down there. The red line is Coca-Cola, searches for Coca-Cola. I mean, the blue line is Coca-Cola, and the red line is Shakira. So, you know something's going wrong when Coca-Cola gets the same amount of searches as Shakira, 12, and Mandela effect only 1. There's something wrong with the world. I mean, Coca-Cola does not move her ass like an angel or like a devil, whatever. I don't care. Shakira's talented. She dances very nicely and she composes. Not my favorite music, but I really respect her and I like her. So, my theory, my alternative hypotheses are so sketchy and so far-fetched that time travel is the one most logical explanation. Other hypotheses making us believe in changes that did not occur to keep us busy researching in the wrong direction. Is that what they're doing? Or they're just program bugs. But anyway, Google seems to be working fine. So why is Google Trends not working fine? Or artificial intelligence is selectively messing with my research in real time just to mislead me. How likely is that, right? This is my bet. This is where I place my bets in the zero-sum paradox. If that word exists at all, I don't even know, but we need to piece together dates of travel and understand which events they're trying to affect. We need to separate our beliefs from our memory. We need to focus on what did occur, not on what we thought occurred or we believed occurred when it occurred. We got to remember things. We got to not let go of what we remember. Our firm memory will cause them memory problems. If we hold on to our memory, it's going to be them that are going to be messing up their own memory, probably ending up in this zero-sum paradox and most likely, canceling themselves out, playing with fire,